Less than a week after a man was shot at a local Airbnb, the company is making a change. They are banning most large parties. Christian Hauser shows us how local Airbnb hosts are trying to prevent the parties from happening in the first place.
31-year-old Stephen Knight is still in the hospital days after being shot. He was trying to break up a party at an Airbnb in Pendleton. Eric Haberthier is an Airbnb owner and the head of the Greater Cincinnati Airbnb Owners Association. He knew Knight.
He does a little bit of work for me. He's actually the backup manager for when the person that I use isn't available. So knowing that happened to someone who you work with is pretty heartbreaking.
Haberthier says he immediately called the owner of the Airbnb when he heard about the shooting. The two of them then reached out to the company.
I can't comment as to what impact it may or may not have had on the announcement, but the timing obviously would make you think that they were probably considering it to begin with, and this may have been something to help move it along.
The company says it's putting a limit on the number of people allowed at 16. It says the decision was in response to concerns about spreading the coronavirus. I reached out to Airbnb to see if the shooting that happened behind me here at the corner of 13th and Broadway had anything to do with the policy change, but they declined the interview request. Haberthier says Airbnb usage dropped 40% at the beginning of the pandemic, but it's been climbing back. During that rise, the units have also become targets for parties.
Bars and clubs weren't going to be available anymore. They were looking for alternatives. People are still trying to socialize. There's a certain age group where people still feel invincible. We've all been through that. And they want to continue some version of normalcy.
Haberthier says owners talk to neighbors and already were doing what they can to prevent parties.
They leave a mess. There's a lot of alcohol. People just generally don't clean up after themselves. Imagine a dorm room gone really badly.
He says unlike hotels, owners don't receive the same credit card protection. That's because all you need is a card number. You can go buy a preloaded card and use that.
If someone can put $100 on a card and then do $5,000 worth of damage, there's no recourse.
In Pendleton, Christian Hauser, Local 12 News.
So far, no one's been arrested in Stephen Knight's shooting.